Hello, I'm Lauren, and welcome to Improving the World. I'm an international improviser based in Hong Kong, and I talk to amazing women of improv all over the world. Today, I speak with Jeremie Day-Glider. She is an American based in Barcelona, and she is a gorgeous human being. She glows happy, joyous energy, and I wanted to talk to her forever. I hope that you enjoy this. We talk about growth in improv, how the improv itself, the exercises, the actualizations that come up can help you as a person, of course, on stage, but also off the stage. And I think this one is pretty good. Hi, Jeremie. You're joining us from Barcelona. Hola.
Hola, I am. Hello.
Hello. Jeremie, you are an improviser, but moreover, you also are a visual artist, and thank you very much for this, a kind human being, so this is good. We're going to talk today about self-growth, furthermore, how one and or you, in this case, finds this and achieves this through improv, be they the workshops or doing the work. When you started doing improv, really getting into it, and you're getting into I'm a vegetarian, so I don't want to say like the meat and the bones, but like the tofu and the tempeh of improv. Did you see characters mirror you on an improv stage and reveal things about you?
In the beginning, I was just throwing myself in and having fun. We all do that, yeah? And then your taste starts to grow faster than your performance level. And that gave me a real oh. And I discovered that, okay, I have loads of insecurities.
Yo también.
I did all of those things, comparing myself to other people, and I still have to work on that. That's something that I find challenging. Why aren't I as good? Or really, none of that is important, because if that's going on, I'm not present on stage and I'm not having fun because I'm coming from a place of when I started having that sort of, what do we call this?
Conflict?
Yes, thank you. Been in my house for 50 days and I don't have any more words.
Sure. I come with a bag of words. Here you go. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're such an improviser. I love you.
Thank you. I had a lot of things that happened, sort of coincided with us moving to Barcelona, Spain, and then discovering things. I've always been interested in becoming a better version of myself, because the way I grew up was moving around all the time with a parent who wanted the world for me, but also wanted to protect me from I knew that I had a lot of personal work to do. When I got here, I hadn't really been doing that work, so I started to backslide a bit. As I started playing characters on stage, I could see, okay, why did that come up? I would notice things coming up and what's going on in my life. I got back into therapy because I needed help. I need a paid friend to help me through the world. It's really lovely. I get to bring these things to someone who is not related to me, who is not my partner, can see it more objectively. For example, Barcelona Improv Group has worked with Patty Styles, and I've taken classes with her independently because she's a master. She's been doing improv since she was 17, and she started with Keith Johnstone. She's phenomenal. If you can, take a class with Patty Styles.
Look out for my Patty Styles interview.
Yes, she came and worked with us and had us doing scenes. I was in a scene, I had stolen her boyfriend, but I was diminishing that and turning it back on her. Patty noted this. I was like, when this situation comes up and you're in the wrong, you need to go there. You need to take it as far as you can. Yes, I stole your boyfriend. I deserve to have him and you didn't, and I would do it again. Like, really go there. And I realized, taking that bit, what it meant for my improv group is that my fellow players were always having to play the bad guy because I wasn't willing to go there. So I was putting a lot on that. Then on top of that, I got to take that to my therapist, because I do believe you can learn things on stage, but I don't think that the stage is a place for therapy. So I got to take that bit to my therapist and say, okay, I did this thing. How does it apply to my life? Am I doing that in my life? And yes, I desperately wanted to be, and on some level still want to be liked and loved and you know.
Very self-aware of you to clock that you were shirking responsibility in an onstage space, and that could serve a parallel for the non-character, the actual you. I think this speaks to either your therapist, who is clearly earning their paycheck well, or you, as aforementioned, a good human who gets that whatever the stuff is that's coming out when you are in a released and comfortable space, hopefully around other good people, and you are just performing, that the stuff that's coming out it's like dreams, right? It's like getting to see people's dreams. It's stuff that we didn't know that was in the abscesses and sort of finds its way out through the madness because you are letting go and you are playing. And when you're playing, you're pulling down the walls. And so stuff comes out. So very cogent thoughtfulness of you to get this and then be like, I need to deal with this twofold on a sofa and also on a stage. I think that's really lovely.
Thanks. I would point out that was like 6 years into improv, and I've still been having this behavior on stage and was not aware of it. I think once we become aware of something, it's always good to sort of go, okay, if I'm doing this here, could I be doing this elsewhere? Which makes me think, which I haven't thought about, the things that I'm doing in my everyday life that I'm learning. Am I doing that on the stage? Oh shit, I must be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something really gorgeous about a good teacher. So you're mentioning Patty, and now you're a teacher as well yourself within improv. A really good teacher or life support system can, like you said, see from a space of periphery what it is that you cannot, because you can't see the forest for the trees. So something really simple that I like to do is, a lot of people use their bodies in extraneous ways when they're performing and they're not aware of this. And so I'll see people shuffle from foot to foot or use a hand a certain way. You see it in anything from giving a PowerPoint presentation to being on stage. And so I'll literally walk up behind someone and just hold their ankles and just keep going. Because they're not aware of it. But when you freeze that, as I said, extraneous motion, the energy has to go somewhere. And if you can channel it to come out through speaking, a good teacher clocking that is only part of the battle, right? It's them bringing it to your attention. And then you now being conscious, making the decision to channel that energy or that decision-making or that shirking of responsibility in a really positive way so that you emphasize the scene work or, as you said, be a better you.
Lauren, that's beautiful.
Thank you so very much.
You're so beautiful.
Hallmark cards on the weekend if anyone wants to buy them. No, I don't. Just kidding.
I'm super interested and always have been interested in psychology and how we interact as humans. And I was in therapy years ago, way back. That therapist was very interested in how I would move my body. If I was shuffling my feet, I was trying to run away from what we were talking about. It's exactly what you were saying. And I find that true too. That's interesting, holding people's feet. That's really lovely. I just usually say, okay, now do the same thing, but stand still. But I love that. It's beautiful what you said about how it channels the energy elsewhere. Mm-hmm. Beautifully put. Yeah.
Thank you. I also have a technique where I carry an imaginary pirate sword and chop off limbs. I don't remember where I got that from, but it is very effective. If people break certain agreements, they lose a limb and have to continue limbless. And sometimes I've ended up with someone who has no limbs, who is a stub of a human doing a scene, but it's very fun to watch and an incredibly effective teaching methodology.
I'm going to steal that. It's brilliant.
I gift you my pirate sword.
Because a limbless person just has this left.
Yeah. Moving forward, we're talking about self-growth. You became aware of this example of not wanting to be the baddie. What other changes have you made or have you seen others make through improv making you aware of something and then improv helping to kind of shape who you are?
I moved a lot as a child, as I said, and I didn't really have a community. Gosh, I went to 7 states, 13 schools. Our system in the U.S. goes kindergarten through 12th grade, and I went to 13 different schools during that time. It meant I never really had a social system. I had ideas about what I thought friendship was, what society should be, what all these things should be, but I never really had a long-term experience of having a friend, growing apart from that friend, coming back together with that friend. Those kinds of those kinds of things that a lot of people experience. I've always done theater, technical theater. We came to Barcelona. We had been in Austria for 2.5 years, and I thought, I need to do something other than just be here and maybe finding a job. I need to have an extracurricular activity.
Tapas, Jeremie, lots of tapas.
I do that.
Okay.
You also need a new segment called Ask Lauren.
Yeah. I have unhelpful answers for you. Ask me. Yeah.
So I looked up online. I was like, English theater in Barcelona. Jocular Theater came up, a local company run by a guy named Josh Van Ricky. He was so lovely. He invited me to come along and help out with sets and just wherever he needed something, he allowed me to be a part of it. I started to meet actors, and that's where I first met David Tevers, who used to be in the group. One of the actors was going to improv. She was like, oh, I gotta go catch a train because I'm going to improv. And I was like, what is that? And she was like, it's improv in the park. And I was like, oh, and I went a year later. So for all of you people out there running schools, no, all you people, yeah, people need to hear about things like 3 or 4 times sometimes before they show up. Eventually I showed up to improv in the park, and my first class was with a guy named Matthew Watson-Jones, who's a love of a man and hilarious. It was so fun and so exciting. The people that I met in that first class, maybe 4/5 of them, I'm still friends with and still in touch with. Improv slowly but surely provided me with that community that I had never experienced.
Yeah.
And with that, the experience of what happens when you know people for like 8 years. What happens when you grow together and you grow apart and you have disagreements and then, oh, you work them out. I've gotten to experience all of those things because of the Barcelona Improv Group and now the Watch This Space community and the international community in Europe and now Hong Kong and in London and in the United States. It's been challenging and wonderful.
Oh, so improv gifted you a community and beautiful people within that, and also sort of maybe foundational language concepts that we all share. Because I think that part of the improv community is the fact that we all agree on and share certain things. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's the same for accountants. Like maybe accountants in Australia and accountants in Zimbabwe would also get along because they're like, oh yeah, the bottom line. But I don't know that because I'm not an accountant. But I feel like one of the really enjoyable things about improv is that we all have this shared philosophy and generally speaking vernacular, such that if you, as you said, shift over to London, you can kind of hit the ground running. So it's this international community that you just can put on like a little happy improv parka.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking a snuggie, like
Very
a fuzzy fleece blanket.
Snuggie, is that the one where it's basically like can you go to the toilet? Does it have is it like a body covering whole thing?
The pictures I've seen, I don't have one. It's like a teddy bear suit that you step into, but open in the front. So I don't think you could go to the bathroom in it unless you did it backwards, but then the hood would cover your face.
Yeah. So then it would be like a really comfortable hospital gown. Yeah. I gotta tell you, side note, I really struggle with a lot of these concepts where they're this all-encompassing thing because I really like water. It's my favorite, and therefore hence the after effects of water. So I'm struggling with the coziness plus the realities of life, but it's for me to deal with anyways.
So you need like a water suit, water snuggie.
Definitely need that. If you're watching and you're an inventor, hook me up. Can I have some copyright action, patent action? So you get this improv community, which is amazing because you've been this nomadic human and you've been dotting around and all of a sudden you have a community, but it's also a lift and shift community that you can take with you and it opens doors and stuff. As you then explore this new improv space, did you find that there were life moments when improv crept in? So not just the other way around where you're on the improv stage and you saw you come into a character or vice versa, but did you see yourself having, obviously, sangria and improv came into it? Did it go the other way as well? Did you see growth in that kind of way?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've softened a lot since my 20s. I used to be quite hard emotionally. I've done meditation and Al-Anon, which is friends with family of alcoholics and all other different kinds of things. This, I think, is sort of the icing on the cake, even though it's even more foundational than maybe it is the cake. I don't know. That metaphor is not working. It's like the last piece of the puzzle. Oh, there's one. Because I don't have to go to a default no. I don't have to protect myself because I know that I can say yes, I can be open, and that's more likely to give someone else room to shift and be open. Whereas if I put up a no, all they can do is bounce off of that. If it's a yes, there's more opportunity for dialogue, for interaction. I don't have a sudden big, oh, I did this thing and it made a huge
There
difference.
isn't meant to be a big thing, and or you haven't gotten to a big thing yet. But I think it's just kind of life and the going through and stuff. That is the right answer because it's the answer. Nominally shifting gears.
Oh,
Yeah, tell me.
I have one.
Yeah.
I have one. There are a lot of homeless people in Barcelona, a
Oh.
lot of homeless people. And I think in the past, I used to just walk by them because I was afraid that making eye contact or interacting was a yes, I'm going to give you money. Now I don't cross the street. I walk by, I say hello. Sometimes I have a little conversation. Sometimes I give money, sometimes I don't. But they're people and they're lovely people. I'm not using that example to sound, oh, I'm so, yeah, I'm nice. It's just they're humans. And why do this? If I make eye contact, I say hello. If I don't want to give money, I just say, no, I'm sorry, not today. Then, we carry on.
Yeah. It sounds like this is a mixture of living your boundaries and being okay with what previously was an uncomfortable engagement, dancing on trying out an engagement with someone to see if it truly is something that's uncomfortable or if it is something that you're okay with. You're testing out your preconceived notion or your previous boundary, redefining it. I think that's really nice.
Yeah.
2020, and please let it just be 2020, but you never know, is our fun and fantastic pandemic year. Maybe I should restate that. I'll edit that out. Yeah, because that sounds horrible. 2020 is our sad and at home all the time pandemic year.
I don't think you should edit it out because I am part introvert and I have enjoyed having this time at home.
Yeah, I think it's been a mix of a hard year, a year of trying stuff out, seeing if we as all kinds of people everywhere can be in different places and how we can convert what we're doing into an inside my small Kleenex box space kind of way, stay related and relatable from within inside a box. You've been doing some of your teaching online and also a little bit of performing. Tell me about if learnings and self-growth have continued in shifting to this, which is quite decently non-physical, and we used to, really touch each other, respectfully touch each other.
Or connect our physical energy. Even just that physical energetic connection is. Before I answer that, I just want to say about the pandemic and about being at home. The first 3 weeks, I had other people in my life that were doing things, getting stuff done, and I just couldn't. Jill Bernard of Huge Theater Minneapolis, who's amazing, and all the people she has around her are amazing, posted something that a therapist had posted on Twitter that just basically said, your brain is producing fight or flight response all the time. So if you feel fatigued, if you don't feel like you can do anything, be kind to yourself, know that this is natural, just breathe and you're okay. That helped me so much because in Barcelona, we were in quarantine for like 50 days and we're still in quarantine, but we're able to go out for 1 hour a day. And I just want to say, I heard it from someone who knows it's normal.
Yeah.
Give yourself a break. Okay,
Yeah.
That's it. I'm a slow learner. I learn piece by piece. I make every mistake all the time, which we should do. That's how we learn. When we first started doing this, Barcelona Improv Group was about 8 out of 10 classes into a term of classes. We went to classes online. Some people didn't want to do that, and that's okay. Some people were like, yes, I want to be able to have a connection every week. It was just trial and error. The nursery theater run by the Maydays started here before anybody, and they have a blog that you can look at if you're thinking about teaching classes online that has all kinds of information that they very kindly have made public. So it was trial and error, and the students were keen on figuring it out. The Barcelona Improv Group had rehearsals every week. We decided not to do shows, but we were trying out how does this work. And the first thing for me was discovering that I don't look like my characters. I look like me. What? I'm an 85-year-old man. And yes, if we're putting on improv clothes, if we're wearing a scuba suit, I can be a man on stage. Train your audiences, people. PayPal.
Yo, PayPal.
So that was shocking. I had to battle with looking at myself constantly and being confronted by what I actually look like. So there's that. And then not having that physical connection. But then the nursery, thank you very much, said, oh, you can stand up. Oh, what? I'm free. I can do stuff with my body. Yeah. That's awesome. The other part of that is then I'm so busy being physical that I'm forgetting to connect with my partner. I'm finding it. I took part in my first online show just a few days ago, and that was the thing that I realized. I was being very physical, but I was missing the connection. And so I was falling back on some old behaviors that we caution. Don't speak about people outside the scene. Keep the focus on you and your scene partner, like all those things. And I just had to remind myself, this is new for me. Whenever I'm adding new information, a lot of stuff goes out the window. And I just have to be kind to myself about that. And now I'm into it. I was lukewarm in the beginning, but there's so many possibilities. You said very cleverly earlier that this is a box. We're not only bringing all the improv stuff we know to this, but we're also bringing all that subtle training we've had from television and movies. So we're not just writers, actors, directors, and editors as we are on stage. We're now having to visually edit within a box, as if we were film and television editors and film and television directors. How are we going to exist within this two-dimensional space? We do stage composition, but yeah, this is a whole different thing, and it's exciting.
Sounds like there is growth because of the fact that it is just so new and it is challenging and it's firing synapses that we didn't know we had, really making us question how we present content and why we do it a certain way. And I feel like as well, at least for me, the online stuff, because of the way that presently the technology records sound, you have to be so aware of over talking. If you're playing quick things or trying to be conversational, it can be more stilting than it would normally be. Even when I do these interviews and I go over people, I have to try to be as quiet as I can, because if I at the wrong time, I cut out your words or stuff like that. So it's this whole new educational thing, weight one must bear to get the point across. So like you said, I don't work for the movie maker people. Thinking about that is this whole other dimension for me. Jeremie,
Lauren,
what are your words of wisdom? If you could speak to the younger version of you, to your improv community peers, the people who've never tried improv before, they heard about it a year ago and they're just hanging out having tapas and sangria and they ain't going to a workshop yet, what do you want these people to know? What are your words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom! I do share this with my students, and I think it's really important. And I'm not the only one that said it. When I first said it, I thought, oh, I want to do something unique. But I've since seen that many people are saying this, and it's so true. You're the only you on the planet. Only you have your life experiences. Only you have your voice. Not your voice per se, but your personal viewpoint, your point of view, where you're coming from, and what's important to you. That's what you're bringing to the stage. Be kind to yourself. Be as kind to yourself as you can. I don't always practice it, and I'm always working on it. When I have the opportunity to teach, I try and teach what I wish I had known from the beginning, which is everything goes. There are tools to become a better improviser, but don't lose the fun. I think that's why we all got into it, either for the fun or the connection, building something with someone else. You're the only you. Be kind to yourself. Don't forget to have fun with the other person and build with the other person.
Those are wise words indeed. You are right. Thank goodness I'm the only me, because I'm a bloody handful, I am. But that's someone else's problem. Jeremie, if people are going to be in Barcelona, they want to see a show, come take a workshop, generally throw money at you. I'm clearly obsessed with tapas. Maybe paella, they want to buy you some paella. And if they say paella, they can turn around and the door is right there right now. How can people find you?
BarcelonaImprovGroup.com. We've got classes. We have shows every month, sometimes twice a month. Great teachers, great shows, and improv people. What more could you want?
Brilliant. Thank you so very much. Really appreciate your time and your energy and your kind thoughts. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Lauren. Thanks for asking me. This has really been fun.
Yeah, this is really, really good. All right, everyone. This is Improving the World. I'm Lauren, and there's more where that came from. Bye. So, did you love the video? If you did, please say kind and wonderful things in the comments down below. And you could subscribe if you're feeling sassy and look for more Improving the World. Thanks.